I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. We recently introduced you to a young man who's a recovering meth addict and told you a little bit about his mother and an organization she's starting called Just in Time, named after him. Here's a video we produced for them to show you a little bit more about what this organization is trying to do.
The funny thing is I started out cutting hair as I was growing up. I cut my own hair. It just kind of started from there, and then all my friends would come over and I started cutting their hair.
This is a story about a mother and her son.
Gosh, I love that kid so much. He's my pride and joy.
It is a story of drug addiction, of love.
So my name is Justin Arbogast, and I'm a recovering meth addict.
It's a story of new beginnings.
I have a wonderful job. I have a great support system. I'm clean and sober.
And a story of success, measured one day at a time.
We've always been super close because I was a single mom. Now this is the one picture. That's when he was using.
No one wants to think it will be their child who becomes addicted to methamphetamine. When you found out he was using drugs and on meth,
it broke my heart. Yeah, that was one of the hardest days of my life.
It was crazy, you know. I would do anything and everything to get my next, you know, to have my next fix, to have my next, you know, to get high or whatever it might be. And then if I didn't have money, I would go steal things to, you know, I mean, I was on the grind, you know, pretty much.
While Justin got sucked deeper and deeper into the lifestyle,
I decided at that moment that I had to do something to save him.
Teresa Rhodes kept digging to find answers, to find Justin.
He would leave his phone, or other people would answer their phone, and so I would get all these people's names and numbers, and I was like this investigator.
Because every time I would go to jail, I mean, I'm sure she just did all this research every single time and what the drug would do. And
Teresa tried to get Justin into treatment programs, but waiting lists were too long and most programs too short to do any real good.
We're starting from that person, where they are here and now, and what their needs are.
Just in Time, a nonprofit named after her son, will treat the whole person, not just the drug addiction.
This whole system is crappy, and that's another reason why my mom is trying to get this program going, you know? Is because she wants to be able to set up a program to where people can go into jail, and then they offer that to them. So if they really do want to change and they really are tired with their lives, they can come out of there and they can go straight to my mom's program or whatever program it might be and get some help.
Nutrition, support, counseling, even yoga, massage, and acupuncture, all designed to restore body, mind, and spirit.
I think he knows this already, but how much I love him and how proud I am of him for turning his life around.
My life is different now because I have responsibilities that I follow through with.
But the battle is never won. The fight continues daily.
Meth is the devil. It's definitely evil. It's horrible. It terrorizes everything in your life. I mean, it's the worst drug you could possibly do, I believe, in my eyes.
These people really need help. There's not a lot of places that you can go that you can get complete guided support, you know, for everything that you need, not just a program.
I love my mom very much, and she's like my best friend, and she's very important to me, you know. Itself, you know, just to be clean and sober, and not to mention just where I've come from then to now. That's the game changer right there in itself. And that right there is enough for me. Just, yeah, thank you.
We're here at the Brew and Q, and the new owner, Patrick Parvin, is here, and these are his crazy friends.
Hey, Rick.
We've already learned that much about it. So yeah, so grab me a beer and come around here and let's talk about your place and see what you're doing.
Sounds great.
And we're really glad to be here. This is a great place. It's really fun, and it's clean and nice, and you've done a ton of things to this place. Talk to us about what you're trying to do here.
I just want to, I'm trying to create an environment where everybody can feel comfortable. If you look at the building, it's split right down the middle, green and yellow, orange and black, so it doesn't matter if you're a Beaver fan or a Duck fan. It's someplace that you can come in, sit down, and watch your game, whatever that game is. I mean, we've got plenty of TVs everywhere. We can have your game on your TV and you can watch it. Husbands and wives can come in here and they can feel comfortable. Place you can eat good food, have a couple beers, and enjoy yourself.
This used to be the pit stop, didn't it?
It did many years ago. Yeah. This was the Beltline used to wrap around, and there used to be a racetrack at the end of Beltline, and this was the closest bar to the racetrack. I would come by in the mornings, and I would have coffee and breakfast before going to work, and I would stop by on the way back home at night and have a couple beers here, and then have the rest of my night. So yeah, this is a place I've been coming into for at least 20 years.
Okay, so we're going to come back and talk to them a little bit more about the food, and they make fresh cut fries here, and if Emma ever gets here, we'll try to fatten her up a little bit. And also we're going to come back and talk about something else that's been happening in the media that's had a devastating effect on his business. So we'll be back in a little bit with that.
Because I remember one time when my daughter was on the playground, and she came home and she told me how some boy was picking on her and being mean. And the first thing that I almost did after being in this field for like 20 years was I almost said, well, he must like you. And I stopped myself, because that's what we say. When boys are mean to little girls, we tell those little girls that that's because they like them. We teach girls that the boys that they should be attracted to in high school are the bad boys, right? Not the good boys. And so I think all of that is just a societal belief system that I think makes it acceptable on some level. And then we question ourselves. We go, well, why is she with him? He treats her so mean, when we've been telling women since the time they were little girls that the mean boys are the ones that like them. I think we need to change it. We need to change the culture. We need to say no. We don't excuse bad behavior, and you always need to be respectful.
The toughest moment of the day is the one right before your body hits the cold water. You didn't have to get up. No one needs to spend an hour swimming laps in a pool at this time of day. The water is like mud as you move it, you pull it, you push it, propelling yourself through it. And when you're finished, your body exhausted, there's only one way to give back what you gave. Lockmead reduced fat or non-fat chocolate milk. Recovery. It doesn't get any better than this. Even if a ghost town is nothing more than a few old houses, you can usually find them. Most of them still hold a place on a map. Shaniko does. But you have to know about Rajneeshpuram to find it. Tonight, photographer Bill Getz and I will show you the way to both ghost towns. It's only been 5 years since Rajneeshpuram became a ghost town. But by looking at the marble monument beside the road, it might as well have been 50. The buildings are in better shape. They're protected on private property. In 1980, the Indian guru Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh and his followers created this place as an oasis at the foot of the Ochako Mountains. They built a city, complete with shops, motels, casinos, even their own security force. But today, there's no one guarding the gates. Rajneeshpuram is a ghost town, and it's still for sale. Della Maffett holds the only job in town. She's a caretaker. Maffett and her family are the only people who now live here. It feels strange to be here.
At first I felt that way when I came down here, and it was really eerie, very eerie. But I've been here enough now that it doesn't seem that way to me anymore.
People who feared the commune are drawn here by curiosity. Those who loved it return to consider what might have been.
Many of them cry when they come. They feel really bad because they've lost their heart and soul here and some of their worldly possessions. And they meditate. They'll sit and with their hands folded, contemplate, I guess, the past.
But this is one ghost town many others are not very anxious to see put back on a map. "20 miles north is Highway 97. 1,100 trucks a day use this route to get from Canada to Southern California and back again. On their way, they drive through the town of Shannaco. 90 years ago, Shannaco was a major transportation hub in its own right. Today, just a handful of people live here, including Mayor Gene Farrell.
We do get a lot of the old railroad people that worked in here back in the early days. Some of the cattlemen, of course, most of them are all gone now, but there's a few of them still around that come up.
A few of the original buildings are still standing, and people like Farrell are here to make sure they stay that way.
And so much history is being torn down today. It's destroyed, gone. When it's gone, it's gone. Just like some of the old timers, talking to them, and they they wish that Dad would have wrote down stuff, you know, because when he died, all the history he had was gone. And that's the same place this is here. If it's torn down and gone, all the history's gone. You can't ever bring it back.
So for the past 5 years, Gene has been working to save what is now the Shannaco Hotel. Restoring the place has been hard work and very expensive, and it shows. Will you ever get your money out of this hotel?
No, don't figure on it. Don't figure on it. Get it for the fun of it and the joy of doing it. Like I say, and saving a piece of history. For money, you ain't gonna take a dime with you anyway. And this will be here long after I'm gone. They can spend the money, but this they can't spend.
5,000 people lived in Shannaco at the turn of the century. Sheep ranchers from Central Oregon brought their wool to the railhead in Shannaco to be shipped to markets all over the world.
I just like to get back here when all the railroad guys and the cattlemen and sheepmen and the ranchers and all get in here at one time. It would really be neat. I wouldn't want to be out in the middle of them because it might be a free-for-all, but I bet there'd be a lot of stories.
In 1911, the railroad built its new main line through Bend, bypassing Shannaco. Later that year, fire destroyed most of the buildings in town. Many simply walked away. Only 30 live here nowadays.
I came into town and I told my son at the time, I says, you know, this is the place I want to be.
Ron Owens is Shannaco's newest dreamer. He just bought the old wool shed.
See, they stored the wool in here, and all this lanolin from the wool just preserved all this wood.
By next year, he hopes to put a mall, saloon, and a museum in the building. Owens says he was born too late, but born a romantic.
I would really like to have lived here, or at least like to seen how it was. Maybe I wouldn't want to live here, but I would like to I'd like to go back a lot of years and see what I missed.
It's been a lot of years since any children have studied in the old schoolhouse. Ghost towns don't attract many families. You give up a lot of convenience to find this kind of solitude, but that's no loss for some.
You get up here and you got a lot of history, walk around and kind of daydream of what it was. I don't know, just a feeling of other people around you. That's kind of silly, I know. But it is, I know, at nighttime, evening time, everything is nice and quiet.
And if you would like more information on Oregon's ghost towns, there are several good books. You can pick them up at any used bookstore. In addition, AAA and the Oregon Tourism Bureau have this information available, and I'd recommend anybody go do it because not only are the towns fascinating, like I wasn't into it, but the people you meet there are just the nicest people you can.
What I will tell you, about our food is that we prepare everything from scratch. So we make sure we hire people that have the passion for making food. That's one of the ingredients. The other one, we make sure that our recipes, they use the ingredients that we tell them to use. And before we put it into the market, we make sure we test, try it. What I love about this business is the people. I'm a people person, so I love to interact with people, and I love to make people feel good.
Another reason we're here is Patrick called me and was telling me about some news coverage that's been devastating to his business, and that I kind of related to some of this. So we came over to talk to him a little bit about. Tell me about this was a murder that didn't happen here.
No, absolutely.
It happened somewhere else,
Yeah.
and they happened to meet here at the former owner's bar.
Yes.
And now you're getting media coverage. And tell me what's happening.
No, it's devastating.
But recently, what's been happening? The trial's starting, and so
Yeah,
you're getting the
news crews are showing up and they're showing the bar. The news coverage has been detrimental to business, for lack of a better term.
Give me an idea what you told me on the phone.
It's a normal bar shift is anywhere from $500 to $1,000 or over $1,000 on a good shift. And after the news coverage aired from the first time, we had a $27 shift. $27. That's not even worth opening the doors for $27.
So here's the thing, when Patrick told me this on the phone, it kind of hit me because I said to Patrick on the phone, I said, I probably did that a lot in my career, and I never even thought about it. For 20 years I was covering stories and putting people's businesses like that, and it's not to chastise the media, but it's to say, you know what, it really does have an impact on somebody like
Absolutely
this.
has an impact.
It's more than just a story; it's your livelihood.
There's an impact beyond just the story. That's the key. Because the story's tragic. It's absolutely tragic. But there's an impact beyond that needs to be taken into consideration, and I don't think it is.
We're a little old country town, about 1,700 people. Everybody seems to know everybody else. You know everybody else's business, perhaps.
Or perhaps not. The week of August 18, 2013, a kidnapping took place near Brownsville, Oregon. Missing? Aretha, a well-known community figure. So as the local newspaper, what do you guys know about this kidnapping in Brownsville?
Well, it was pretty horrible when we first learned about it. We thought that, in our small community, that kind of thing really doesn't happen. But it did, and it's been a shock to everybody.
Dairy Mart is like the town square.
So are you having a good day?
It is a great day.
Somebody has had to have said something.
I heard about it just about a month ago.
Did you guys hear about the kidnapping?
Yeah, we did. Everyone's talking about it. The whole town heard about it.
You walk down the street and people say, well, hey, have you heard about the kidnapping?
Owners.
And especially now that the posters are up. They're all over town.
Mothers don't let their kids go outside.
Huh.
and nobody even knew she was gone.
Yeah, you know what? I can't believe anybody would do that. You know, that's just really, really low.
And we'd hate to think that anybody in our community would be guilty of such a heinous crime.
Okay, so you're a reporter.
Yes.
What have you found out about this kidnapped victim?
Well, I didn't really know about it until fairly recently, which means the trail is pretty cold.
So what happened in this quiet little town? Why has it taken a year for this information of Aretha's kidnapping to turn up? One day, it's a quiet, peaceful place to live. The next day, posters turn up and people are talking.
Aretha, she came to us years ago.
We did a little digging. As it turns out, Aretha is a longtime employee of Lockmead Farms.
She's been a part of the gang of girls out there for many years.
Lockmead hasn't said much publicly about the abduction, concerned more about Aretha's safe return.
She's been out in the public for years and never had any problem.
But people are starting to hear things, grumblings, possible sightings.
You know, it's being a body shop, we thought maybe there was a body around here, but we couldn't find nothing, and we've looked all morning long. No, nothing.
As a news guy, are you just milking this story for everything it's worth on?
Yeah.
Huh? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I am. I must admit it.
Lockmead simply decided it had to go public. So you guys you're at the Willamette Country Music Festival,
Right.
in Brownsville.
Yeah.
It was the last night of the Willamette Country Music Festival. People were cleaning up, folks were leaving, and something happened.
I was out back by the truck just putting stuff away when the gentleman next door at the booth comes running and says, "Hey, somebody just took your cow."
Wow. Aretha is one of 3 fiberglass cows owned by Lockmead Farms.
You know, I took the better of the 2 out there too.
Her sister, who you see right here, and whose name and whereabouts remain a secret for obvious reasons, is an exact double.
Notice that the cow is going through the crowd basically by itself, it looks like. We were running after it, and we see these couple guys carrying the cow. We yell at them to drop the cow. They do. We grab it, bring it back.
Later that night, someone returns with a truck, talks to security, posing as a Lockmead employee.
You know, last night there was a gentleman from Lockmead came by and said he wanted to take the cow, and so he put it in the truck and took off with it.
So, what does this mean to your family?
Kurt's right here.
In all seriousness, someone did take Aretha the fiberglass cow. Lockmead wants her back and is offering a reward for her return. No questions asked.
I'm hoping our posters out there will do some good.
Somebody had to see this.
Oh, they had to have seen it.
You know, you're leaving
a lot of people had to have seen it.
Right. We've set up a hotline to get your tips. You can call 541-991-8790 or findingaretha.eugenedailynews.com. We want to hear from you.
We want her back. She's missed, and we would very much like to get her back.
Alyssa, we're at the top, me and all these other people, and they're cruising by. Here they go. See? They're gone. And they'll be back in town in 3 minutes. So if you're in the market for a video, Rick Dancer Media Services, we create long format videos, shorter videos, YouTube videos, website videos. What we specialize in is telling your story, and we do it with heart, we do it with passion. Sometimes we do it and make it just a little wacky. It's whatever you want. But give us a call to find out more about our services and what we offer. My phone number is right here on the screen, 541-232-3143, or go to rickdancer.com or Rick Dancer TV.